Good morning, everyone. Scott Earhart here with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Before we say anything else today, thank you very much for taking the time to join us on this Halloween Eve. We greatly appreciate it. I think, in fact, I know today you're going to find our presentation very timely and very valuable. So here shortly, we're going to bring Dave Pimper, one of our national sales coaches and top producer with Insurance Agency Marketing Services on, and we're going to discuss Social Security claiming, marketing, and prospecting. He's got a great system that is tried and true, and he's going to show you exactly how to utilize that in your practice and give you the opportunity to learn more and utilize it yourself if you'd like to. So very excited about that. Before we bring Dave in and get into the meat and potatoes of today's presentation, going to go through a couple of housekeeping items and then just a few introductory slides, and we will get going on that. That being said, we'll start with housekeeping items. And first one, and probably the most important thing you'll hear me say today, is in the top right-hand corner of your screen. That's our phone number. That number is 800-255 5055. If there is anything that we can be doing to help you with your life or annuity business, we certainly love the opportunity to be working with you, so don't hesitate to ever give us a call. Second housekeeping item is polling questions. It looks like I've got 3 polls loaded up for today's presentation. I'll launch them throughout the meeting today. When we do launch them, they're just simple yes or no clicks. If you would take the time to participate in that, we certainly appreciate it. Really helps us to get a better idea of what you're interested in and how we can help you maximize the value that you receive for taking the time to join us today. And then the final housekeeping item are questions. We're going to be on the call probably 45 to 50 minutes today. And I know we're going to throw a lot of information at you in that time frame. So certainly there will be some questions. Dave does a great job of answering questions while we're live and in session. So if there's anything that pops up in your mind, type it into the questions box. We'll do the best we can to get those answered while we're live and in session. If for some reason we can't get them answered while we're live, certainly we will follow up with you to make sure all your questions are answered. That being said, I'm going to get into the introductory slides now, and then as soon as Dave gets in here, we'll get it handed off to him. First thing that I want to talk about is the new producer builder slide in front of you. This is geared towards individuals that are new to us here at IMES, or if this is your first introduction to us, you are eligible for this program. This is all based on production within your first 180 days worth of being licensed, and we've got great levels for you to cash in at. And as you can see, at every level, we've got some great options for you that, cash rewards, personal perks, great business building and marketing tools there. And if there's, for those of you that aren't new to us, if there's anything in there that you see that might be of interest to you and helping you grow your business, certainly let us know, because all of these things, all these programs are available to everyone that is affiliated with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Firelight, definitely want to talk about this. This has been a massive windfall for many producers in 2020 because of the way we've had to conduct business. You can now access Firelight on the IMES website. Majority of our carriers and their products are available. So now you can do electronic applications right from the website. Very easy for you to fill everything out, very easy for the client to authorize and approve. And it really, cuts down that contact point. One of the beautiful things about Firelight as well is the minute that app is completed, it's shipped off not only to us, but direct to the carrier. So we're going to cut some lag time out as well, as far as faxing or mailing applications to the carrier. So not only is it going to help you have paperwork that's closer to in good order, because Firelight does a great job of scrubbing and checking itself, but it's also going to help you get commissioned faster, because we're going to cut a day or two out of the process of getting it uploaded to the carrier. You can see several of our carriers here that are available, many more coming soon. If you have any questions about specific products or carriers on that, feel free to give me a call or reach out to Amber Williams or Cynthia Bacher in our office. Certainly, we can answer those for you. Next slide is going to be our creative marketing solutions, one of my favorite things to talk about. We do have a full in-house creative team here at IME spread between our Omaha offices and our Topeka offices. So got a lot of people that are here solely to help our advisors market themselves and their practice. And we've got a lot of stuff that's just ready to go for you if you need it. We start at top, turnkey solutions, a lot of things that are pre-filled that all we need to do is impose your contact information, your business logo on there, and they're ready to go for you. You can see a lot of that at imsinc.com. They put a lot of their work out there. Really proud of the work these ladies and gentlemen do. It's very high quality and definitely something that you can utilize to help you grow your business and market your business. Agency solutions. As I talk about this fully customizable branding, one thing I would say is that if you haven't created a consistent and customized brand for you and your business, I think you should. And I definitely think we could help you with that. It will go a long way for you and name recognition to have that consistent and customizable brand out there. And we can design that logo for you, that brand for you, and then we can help you get it onto business cards, brochures, advertising onto your website, things of that nature. And again, it really will just help you in your natural market be more recognizable and be more consistent, which will pay long-term dividends for you and for your practice. And then the bottom section there, digital solutions, obviously a massive growth market for us. As we talk about how we market our advisors and their brands, we can certainly help you that again with a website, with different strategies for deploying digital marketing, of course, social media. We can help with that, email consulting, newsletters, things like that. If anything that I said here or anything that you see on the slide is of interest, feel free to give your sales director here at IMES a call. They can talk you through what we can do, and if it's something we want to move forward with, we'll definitely get our creative team involved for you and help you get that deployed. I'm going to do a sound check here. Looks like Mr. Pimper just jumped on. Dave, can you hear us? He might not be fully in yet. He'll let me know when he's in here. I've mentioned this a few times throughout the presentation thus far, imsinc.com. If you have not created an account at imsinc.com, as soon as we're done with this presentation, go out and create one. I think you'll find it a really useful tool. In fact, I know you'll find it a really useful tool. And for those of you that already have an account, this week, actually, we just made some updates, got some brand new things on there. Go check it out. A lot of great tools that we've added on there for you. Stonewood software, more information about Retirement Analyzer, greater access to the sales resource library. A lot of great stuff is out there that just got updated, refreshed. So go take a look at that when we're done with this presentation. I just mentioned Retirement Analyzer. I'll tell you this is one of my favorite tools in the world. I love this thing. We have a lot of advisors that use this thing and use it regularly, and it helps them with their sales. If you're not using a software package to help you what do I want to say here? Record and understand why you're making the recommendations you are and help your clients to understand why you're making the recommendations. This is a great tool for it. And part of why I like this software so much is because beyond putting everything into one basket so the clients can see exactly their financial landscape, I think it's a great closing tool because simply with a click of a button, you can show the client how much better of a position they're in because they implement the products or strategies that you're recommending as compared to their current status. So it really does help you close more sales as well. Marcus Solar here in our office is our point man for Retirement Analyzer. So if you'd like more information about the RA, just give him a call. He'd certainly love to get you out some information on it. We do have a free trial available for anybody that would like to utilize it. We are still qualifying for our marketing summits. Qualification goes through the end of the year. As of now, we are scheduled to go to Puerto Vallarta and Punta Mita in March of next year. So definitely some stuff to come on that. And there is the Punta Mita trip as well. So Beautiful, beautiful locale. Still time to get qualified if you'd like to. If you need more details on that, just let your sales director here at IMES know. Certainly they can talk you through exactly how that works. And with that being said, that gets me to the end of our introductory slides here. I'm hoping that we've got full connectivity with Dave. Dave, can you hear us?
I can. Scott, how are you doing?
Doing well, boss. Doing well. Happy Halloween
Good.
Eve to you. Thank you for joining us
Yeah,
today.
you bet. Are people going out for Halloween this year, I wonder?
I've talked to a couple internal employees and they say they're going out. I've talked to some friends that said they're not going out. My
Yep.
Molly and I decided that we're gonna watch scary movies and not turn the front porch light on. So I'll be
I hear you. I
eating
hear you.
eating all the candy myself.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Are you ready, big dog?
I am. I'm ready to go
Okay.
here. So
Let me give you
thank
control.
okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You should have control now, buddy. All yours.
Yeah, okay, real good. You know what? Let me see where we're going with this here. Yeah, so actually, this is a different webinar, but that's okay, Scott. There's a brand new one that should have came on up, and we took the wrong one here. But this will work. I mean, this is fine.
I can try and
I'm gonna,
reload it if you'd like me to, Dave.
if you could,
Yeah.
there's another Social Security that's got some test questions on it that I just think it's probably a little more timely. So real quickly, I appreciate everybody being on board with us. We're going to kind of jump on this new seminar from webinar standpoint and ask some questions. My name is Dave Pimper. Been in the business since 1981. That is it. Very good. 1981. Yeah, you can load it on in there.
Yep. Give me 1 second. I'll have it up for you. Sorry, buddy.
Okay. Yeah, and you know what happens is Social Security, where you don't make money per se from Social Security, there certainly is a great inroads to get people to really understand what your background is on the pre-retirement and the retirement market. If you don't know Social Security and you're working in the retirement market, I'm going to tell you right now, you can really add, to your background, to your insurance expertise, if you know Social Security maximization. And what we're going to do once this is loaded on up, we're going to take a little quiz, and we're going to go back to school. And this little quiz, I'll tell you right now, it's a case where most people, only 1 in 300 of the average John Doe can get all of those questions correct. Hey, Scott, you still there? I would think that he is.
Yep. I'm still here, buddy.
I'm trying to move this forward if I can.
Yep.
If you give me controls.
Yep. You should have it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, buddy.
You bet. So it says here, most retirees get little advisor help on Social Security. Okay. So what's that mean? And I'm going to read this because I think it's very important, from Sarah O'Brien from CNBC. A majority of older Americans get no professional advice about a key part of retirement planning, Social Security, even if they work with a financial advisor, a recent study concluded. Wow. I will tell you what, if you know Social Security, I mean, you got to step in the right direction. So this comes from Simply Wise, the website, and this comes right from Christy Bieber on September the 20th. I just cut this out about a month ago. A Social Security test only 1 in 300 seniors could ace. So this is from ages from 60 to 70. They were asked, okay, right in that wheelhouse of Social Security. But let's see how advisors do. Here we go. 5 questions. I want you to take them with me here, okay? To maximize your monthly Social Security checks, at what age must you claim benefits? To maximize your monthly Social Security checks, at what age must you claim benefits? Now, play along with me. Answer that before I give you the answer. What age is that? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Well, if you said full retirement age, you're wrong. That's between 66 and 67. You know what happens? It is the age of 70. That's how you maximize your benefit, is to live to the age of, take it at the age of 70. At full retirement age, if you're born from 1943 to 1954, your full retirement age, you get your full benefit. But to maximize your benefit, you need to wait to 70. Second question, what's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? What's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? 3, 2, 1. Write your answer down. Well, if you said 62, you're wrong. It's age 60. Yep, a lot of people say 62. Only 9% of the people knew that. Okay? Question number 3. Does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for a spousal benefit? Does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for spousal benefits? Yep, you do. Your spouse, only 20% of the people knew that. Your spouse, to get spousal benefits, you have to qualify. You have to go in and start your benefit, okay? Number 4, can divorced spouses receive a spousal benefit? Divorced spouses, you're now single, can you get a spousal benefit? Yep. Now, there's 4 stipulations that have to be met, 4 conditions that have to be met. If you can guess 2 of them, I'm going to say you guessed this correctly. So yes, divorced spouses can receive spousal benefits. If you guess 2 of those, here's what they are. Here's the 4 of them. If you guess 2 of them, I'm going to count it. First of all, married at least 10 years. You're currently unmarried. Your ex is at least 62, and the marriage lasted, the divorce has at least been 2 years or longer. So yes, you can. And if you got 2 of those right, I'm going to count that question right for you. And then lastly, are you eligible for survivor's benefits if you're divorced? So you're divorced. Can you take your spouse's benefit? Yep, if the stipulations are met. Those are 5 questions. 1 in 300. How'd you guys do, and gals? Probably not many have got all 5 correct. I did when I took it. The only tricky one was, I thought, was probably the one on to maximize your benefit, because that makes it sound like your full benefit, but they're talking about their biggest benefit. Yeah. Tell you right now, only 1 in 300 seniors could answer that quiz. And if you didn't get 4 or 5 correct, then you know what? You probably need to bone up and learn Social Security claiming. This comes from Jana Heron from the USA Today, from an excerpt back last July. Doing this one thing with your Social Security can mean losing $100,000 in retirement. Bullet point 1, how much does claiming Social Security at the wrong time cost you? Bullet point 2, retirees will lose an average of $111,000 in income per household over their lifetimes. Why? Because they took Social Security benefits at the wrong time. And then bullet point number 3, overall, get a load of this, only 4% of all retirees took Social Security at their most financially optimal age. Isn't that wild? Only 4%. That's how much we can help people. Kind of a stroll down memory lane with Social Security. It was started in 1935 by Franklin Delano Roosevelt through the Social Security Act. First benefit check to Ida Mae Fuller in 1940. The only age you could take Social Security when it started was 65, and then shortly after, within about from 35, it was about 3-4 years after the first checks came out, they started going in there's some differences. Then you could take early. Like in 1961, you could get a reduced benefit if you took earlier, up as early as 62. If you wait later, up to 70, it's an increased benefit. Cost of living was not around till 75, and it's been ever since. 2020 was 1.6%. 2021 is going to be 1.3%. Last year was 2%. Year before that, 2.8%. Last 10 years, 2%. Since it started in the around 3.5%. Taxation started in '83. If you make enough money, you're taxed. '93 was increased up to 85% of your benefit can be taxed. There's always 15% that is not taxed. How important is Social Security? It's very. Nearly 60% of all retirees, they count on their Social Security to be a major source of income for themselves. A major source of income. Here's Social Security 101. There's 3 ages or dates that are important to Social Security. When is there's a middle date, or the full, you can use your full benefit, not your maximum benefit. Remember, that's at 70. But your full benefit is somewhere between 66 and 67. If you take early at 62, depending on when you were born, there's a discount of 25 to 30%. And if you take it 70, then you maximize out your benefit. Okay? It isn't helps it to go any longer than that. Claiming at your right time, it's not the right time or a right time, but claiming at your right time can have a big value with Social Security. The trust fund ran a surplus last year, $3 billion surplus off of $2.9 trillion. Not much of one, but it ran one. This year, depends. May not run a surplus, and then from here on out, we're going to be taken from the trust fund, and that 2.9 trillion is supposed to go bankrupt, run out of money in the year of 2034 or 35. Now, because of the pandemic and people taking out more and earlier, it might run out faster. That's been kind of the surmise as of late. Time will tell. But the trust fund will go bankrupt. If the trust fund went bankrupt and you're receiving a $2,000 benefit, how much money would you receive? A lot of people say none because the system is bankrupt. It's not the system that's bankrupt. It's the extra money in the trust fund is bankrupt. So, there's still, how is Social Security funded? Majority is payroll taxes. A little bit from the interest on the bonds and IOUs, a little bit from taxation, but 89% is from the 6.2% of payroll tax you pay and the 6.2% payroll tax that your employer pays. That would still be going on, wouldn't it? So even if the trust fund went belly up, had zip, nada, no money, you're still going to get about 78% of your income would be coming in. Are there ways to shore that up? Yeah. If you're from the Democratic side, you probably would like to go in and raise taxation. If you're from the Republican side, you probably would like to raise the age, and there'll probably be some kind of compromise between the two. Is it a pay-as-you-go system? Yes, it is. Does the government borrow on those special issue bonds that are purchased with payroll taxes? They do. They've done that for quite a while. And so you hear it's a Ponzi scheme because nothing of a hard asset type backs the Social Security Trust Fund. Not bonds, not stocks, not gold, not silver, not platinum. But what backs the dollar in your pocket? Not gold, not silver, not platinum, not bonds. No. It's backed by the full faith and credit of the United States government. Same thing that backs Social Security Trust Fund and your Social Security payment. Same thing. So until cash is no good, I'm not going to worry one iota. How do you figure out if you get a Social Security benefit? You got to have 40 quarterly credits. 40 quarter of credits. And so you got to make $1,410. That's one quarter. If you make that times four, $5,640, that if you make that, you earn 4 credits. That's the most credits you can earn in 1 year. Now, if you earn the minimum, it's a minimum benefit. If you earn the maximum, it's a maximum benefit. Then they look at your earnings, career, and they take your highest 35 years, inflation adjusted. And then there's a complicated calculation called AIME, A-I-M-E, and then that figures out what your benefit is. Interesting, you don't pay Social Security on all of your income if you're a higher income individual. You pay it only on the first $137,700 of income. If you make over that, you pay on Medicare, but you do not pay payroll taxes for Social Security. That's the max. Next year it's going up a little over $143,000. Remember I said full retirement age? Yeah, if you're born from 43 to 54, your full retirement age is 66. I was born at 55, 66 years and 2 months. All the way up to 1960 and later at 67. Don't you love that dog? He's my favorite. Can you look real closely? He's wearing a bone tie. Bad Nebraska joke, yeah. If you apply early, it's going to be reduced. If you apply late, it's going to be increased by 8%. 8% is guaranteed to grow from once your full retirement age each year after that. So we're going to talk about, I'll tell you, the next, excuse me, the next 4 slides. So if you know that, first of all, we talked about individual benefit, but if you know the spousal benefit, you know, divorce spouse benefit, surviving spouse benefit, and restricted application. If you know those 5 areas, that's about 95% of all questions that come up with Social Security. So let's talk about spousal benefits. PIA stands for primary insurance amount. FRA is the age, full retirement age. PIA is the amount at full retirement age. Days PIA at FRA, say 66, is $2,400. Amy's is PIA, primary insurance amount, is $1,000 at age 66. They both take. Dave gets his $2,400. Amy has an option, whether it be male or female, it's gender neutral, of course. But the spouse who has the lesser benefit, they can take all of their benefit or half of their spouse's, whichever is higher. So in this case, Amy could take $1,000, or half of Dave's. Half of $2,400 is $1,200, or $1,200. $1,000, $1,200. What's higher? $1,200. So in reality, she gets $1,000 of individual benefit and a $200 spousal top-up for $1,200. Now, if Dave doesn't take his, he's going to wait till 70, and Amy's going to take his 66. She cannot take half of his until he takes his. Okay? So Amy takes her $1,000. Dave doesn't take his. He lets his grow. So say in 4 years it grows to $1,000 to $3,400. The 8% delayed retirement credits and COLA, of course. Now Amy doesn't get half of $3,400. She can only take half of his at the full retirement age. She's, again, at that time, 70, would get a $200 top-up. Now, there are some innuendos and some detours and some things, and special cases, but that's the basics of spousal benefit. If that wasn't really crystal clear to you, then you don't really understand Social Security claiming, because that's kind of 2,700 rules. That's some of the easier rules on the spousal benefit. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's go to divorced spouse benefits. Here we go. Remember the 4 stipulations? Your marriage had to last at least 10 years. You're currently unmarried. Your ex is at least 62. And then lastly, the +1, the divorce had to been at least 2 years ago or longer. Okay? If that's the case, you can use your spouse, and both of you can use each other if you want to. Interesting. You both claim on each other. It doesn't affect your benefit in any way, whether you're remarried or not, for the ex. What happens is you can use your spouse just as if you're still married to them. Why is that important? It's important because married couples, they have more options, more alternative options when it comes to Social Security claiming than what a single person has. It can, not always, but it can benefit them, okay? Survivor benefit. My wife always says, none of us are going to get out of here alive, no matter what, no matter how hard we try. Let's say Dave's his benefit is $2,000 and Amy's benefit is $1,200, and Dave dies, which normally the guy does die first about 80% of the time. Amy can keep her benefit and let Dave's go, or she can drop her benefit and jump up to Dave's. Well, of course, she saves $800, or she gets an extra $800 a month. But what happens is that's a big, big deal. Now, here's the interesting thing is, for a spousal benefit, you do not have to ask for that. But a divorce benefit, a survivor benefit, you have to ask to get it. It's biblical. If you don't ask, you ain't going to receive. I kind of ad-libbed that biblical one a little bit. Yeah, you're not going to get it. So it's very, very important. If you forget it, the Social Security's not going to write you a letter and say, hey, you're leaving a big benefit on the table. They don't do that. They hope you forget, actually, so they don't have to pay it out. If you're a surviving widow and you're at least 60 years of age, one really, really cool thing you can do is you can take that survivor widow's benefit and you can let yours continue to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, and then turn it on as late as you want up to the age of 70. So there still is a file and suspend available on a survivor benefit. A lot of people don't know that. That's why not understanding Social Security, I'm going to go through, there's three ways. There's three separate ways, individual ways that you can go in and learn Social Security. Two are paid for within the marketing program. One is seminar marketing, Social Security workshops. The second one is Retirement Boss Radio. The third one is a la carte, where I'm coaching you for a fee. But I'll tell you, if you don't know Social Security, you need to mark yes when we're done here so we can talk, because I can coach you up on it. I can teach you Social Security. Of all the FMOs that are out there, I don't know if there's anyone else where they've got a coach that's on board that will walk you through A through Z through Social Security so you truly, truly do understand it. Coordinating spousal benefits. The Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015, that was the last major, about 270 pages. A couple pages were on here talking about Social Security, and file and suspend was phased out in 6 months. Restricted application was phased out in 8 years. Actually, January the 2nd, January 1st is the last day of 2024. So we still got a couple, 3 or 4 years left on that. But here's what happens: you have to be you had to be born before January the 2nd of 1954. So if you're not 66 years and almost 11 months old now, you can't do it. So that takes away a lot of people. But if you are that age, here's what you can do. This gets complicated. I'll just let you know that. But assuming Dave and Amy are both 66, and you don't have to both be, but I'm not going to use a discount here. The primary person taking restricted application has to be full retirement age. So here's what happens is, Dave's PIA is $2,400, Amy's is $1,000. Amy wants to take her benefit of $1,000. Dave wants to let his grow. If he restricts his application through this kind of goofy rule, kind of hidden loophole, he can let his grow the 8% guarantee, and in the same turn, he can take a spousal benefit. He can reach out and take half of Amy's. A spousal benefit is always half of the other spouse's benefit. Half of $1,000 is $500. Amy takes her $1,000. Dave lets his grow, guaranteed the 8% cost of delayed retirement credit, and in turn, he can take $500 a month or $6,000 a year because it's restricting his application. How cool is that? So that's $6,000 a year. If you do that over 3 years, it's $18,000. It's a big, big deal. Get a load of this. Only 0.7 of all Americans who restricted application would help them financially, and sometimes in a big way, tens of thousands of dollars in their pocket over 3 or 4 years, uh, initiate this loophole, restricted application. You know why? They have no idea it's around. Social Security cannot give you advice. They can give you highest benefit right now. They're not going to scenario plan for you. That isn't what they do. You have to find out on your own. You can help people with this. Now, it's phasing out, okay, because you got to be born, remember, got to be born before January 2nd of 1954 of the person taking it, not the not the spouse, but of the person taking it. And that gets complicated, but wow, when it fits, boy, it's just great. So what can the Social Security personnel do? You know what they can do? They can give your highest benefit that you're entitled to right now. You know what they can't do? Scenario plan. They can't talk about restricted application. They can't give you advice. Get a load of this. This comes right from their POMS, their Program Operational Manual System. Look at D. Right from their manual. Provide enough information so that claimants, that means me and you, who goes into the Social Security Administration office, so that claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. Wow. Who gives advice? State Pimper. Or if you know Social Security, you can too. I believe that Social Security is not a standalone income stream. There's really 5 pillars of income, which we'll talk about in a sec. It's the most flexible of all the income streams, not claiming at the right time, but claiming at your right time. Certainly can be different than someone else's, and it most likely is. And don't forget about the break even when you look at survivor benefit. Here's the 5 pillars of income: wages, pensions, income producing assets, RMDs, required minimum distributions, and they're actually even looking at some more legislation of raising it to 75 now for RMDs. Wouldn't that be a cool thing? Yeah, didn't know if you heard about that. And then how Social Security goes in. Social Security is by far the most flexible of those income streams. You know, there's just a lot to consider. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to Social Security. There's your own benefit. There's spousal, divorce. There's survivor. You know, the Social Security Administration is not going to ask you how long you think you're going to live. How's your personal health? They can't do that from a liability standpoint. We can. We can ask that. You know, we're advisors. We absolutely can ask that. If you have any questions, type them on in. I'll be more than happy to help you with that. But here's the 3 ways. Here's the 3 ways to get coached up on Social Security so you really understand it. First of all, I've been in the business since '81. 11 of those years, it was 11 years ago that I started really understanding, 10 or 11 years ago, Social Security. And so seminar marketing around Social Security, we just did a virtual seminar. And I tell you what, if you have 10 or more appointments from any kind of seminar, that's pretty darn good. We got 21 set appointments from our last virtual seminar. If you're not marketing right now, you should. I'm going to tell you that. And that was virtual. We're not a lockdown state, but we had tried some others and hadn't had the success. We were very, very successful there. But if you do a seminar, whether it be virtual or in person, I'm going to coach you up. That's part of the system. I'm going to coach you up on that. Retirement Boss Radio, being a radio show host, about 30% of all calls that come in are Social Security related. I'll coach you up on Social Security there with 3 coaching sessions, or just a la carte. That's how important it is. If you don't want to do any kind of seminar or radio, but you want to get coached up on Social Security, $200 a session for 4 sessions. That's $800. $800. You know what that is? That's about a $10,000 piece of business. You know, I've got 13 people that are in the sales funnel right now for me, from first to closing appointments, where there's money available. And that's because of seminars and because of radio, and a little bit from my book of business too. But Social Security is so key. Understanding. And you know what? Uh, in all of those circumstances, I'm not in your hierarchy. I mean, I'm coaching you on seminar marketing, retirement boss radio marketing, on Social Security. But Social Security is so important to learn that we give you 3 ways to go in and to do that. So I'm going to have Scott put up the poll right after this slide, but it says procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. Tomorrow never comes, does it? It never comes. If you heard something today and you said, you know what, I would like to learn Social Security, or I'd like to get in front of more qualified appointments. My gosh, and Scott, can you go ahead and if you're working on that, good. But you know what? Mark yes here. Would you like more information on Social Security? Not just coaching seminars, but Social Security training, whether it be seminars and or radio host marketing, or just a la carte Social Security, where you're not doing it with a marketing program, but knowing Social Security, getting geared up on social. That is actually, if it's an a la carte, is 4 sessions, not 3. We go a little bit more into depth. But you can, once you coach with me, then you can always use me. So I'm going to leave that open. Scott, is there any questions that have come up or comments that you want to make that I should go in and delve into a little bit on Social Security?
Oh, I'm looking through the questions here right now, Dave. This one might, and tell me if you want to get into this or if we should handle this offline. I've got a question that came in about government pensions and offsets for Social Security.
Yep.
You want to go
Yep.
down that rabbit hole, or should
Sure.
we do that offline?
I'll do it quickly. I was talking about windfall elimination provision, and then like the spousal survivors, a government pension offset, GPO. What those are is if you work for a government entity and you put into a pension for them, but you do not put into Social Security, and say that you work an outside job, they're going to offset part of your Social Security, the full amount you paid in. I don't think it's fair, but that's the way it is. They're going to offset that. And so the more years you work, like if you work 30 years on the outside, it's not going to affect it at all. But if you work 20 years, I mean, approximately about a third of your Social Security, as long as you got that pension coming in. It's the size of the pension makes a difference too, but it's going to be, you're not going to get all of your Social Security benefit. And there's software that you can plug everything into, which is pretty easy to get. I mean, you pay for it, but that's how that windfall elimination provision and government pension offset in its basics, that's how it works. Yep.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
That,
sir. Oh, I got another rabbit hole for you. We got some
okay.
questions coming in, going regarding to what's going to happen next Tuesday and
Yeah.
the different, different regimes that may hold the White House. Any commentary you want to give on that and the effects of Social Security or the effect on
Yeah.
Social Security?
Yeah. So whichever political party you are, I will guarantee you Social Security is going to stand strong. Now, I don't believe the ads. Ads are just just not truthful. I mean, both sides. I mean, of what when they scare seniors. Social Security's been around for 85 years. They paid a benefits. As Ida Mae Fuller got her $22.56 in 1940. There's never been a missed Social Security check. And so, there has to be some changing? Yes, there does. It's a political hot potato, though. But you know what? Social Security, there's lots of government programs that I think are absolutely a waste of money, but Social Security is not one of them. Social Security has been extremely well run and extremely efficient, and it has kept over half of Americans, in retirement, out of the poorhouse. And that's why it was originally kind of part of the New Deal back from the Social Security Act with Franklin Delano Roosevelt. So, nope. No matter which side gets in, but do I think that there'll be some reform in the next 4 years? No matter who does get in, there will be some reform, and then you know what? It's probably going to lean heavier towards taxation. Like Joe Biden came on out and said, at 137,700, you quit paying for Social Security tax just like you do right now. But then there's a donut hole up to 400,000. If you make over 400,000, now you'll pay all the way up. If you make 10 billion, 20, 10 million, 20 million, you pay it all the way up. And I'm not a big taxation guy because I think we're taxed so much right now. But is Social Security in trouble? No, don't believe the politicians. Social Security is extremely strong, 2.9 trillion. That makes Warren Buffett look like a little pimple. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's the largest government trust fund in the world, Social Security. And is it going to start draining down for the next year, this year, next year? Yes. Something to worry about? Absolutely not.
All right, big dog. I'm gonna do this because it's Halloween Eve, and I don't think I've ever given you a softball this big before.
Okay.
Somebody asked me best way to start implementing Social Security conversations with your clients, with their clients.
Mark, yes, and talk to Dave Pimper. No, I tell you what, here's what happens is Social Security is complicated. Scott, you know that. I mean, you know some things about Social Security, but would you call yourself an expert? No.
Absolutely not.
Oh no. And that's the way almost everybody in our industry is. Become an expert. And you know what? You can do it on your own. I mean, I did. I mean, I read books and went to symposiums and went to every wholesaling event, that they were talking about Social Security when it was hot 8, 10 years ago. But I tell you, I will walk you through every single piece of it, and also once you coach with me, then you can use me from there on out. As long as as long as you don't abuse me. I mean, I'm going to help you with every Social Security question that you have. So, Mark, yes. Is there any more questions, Scott, or not?
Nope, that was my last one, big dog.
Okay, we're going to keep it open for about 15 more seconds, and Scott, I'll kind of let you have the last words here with Iams.
Fair enough. Well, everybody, we do thank you very much for your time. We know that, what do we got here? 48 minutes out of your day is 48 minutes where you are not out actively selling and prospecting. So we greatly appreciate your time, Mr. Pimper. I know 48 minutes in your world is a lot to ask for right now. I know how busy you are. So we really thank you as well for taking time to give this presentation. What I'd say to this, I've never met an individual that has worked harder to learn Social Security and then help other advisors become experts than Dave Pimper. If it's at all of interest to you, and it should be, if it's not something you consider yourself an expert in, while we've got this poll still open, check the yes mark. It's no obligation there. You'll have a quick conversation with Dave. If it's a fit for you and your practice, you'll go into coaching. If it's not, Dave will certainly respect that. But for the vast majority of people that click yes, it definitely becomes a big part of their practice. So I would highly encourage you to do that. That being said, that's all I have. Dave, parting words?
Nope. Thank you very much for taking time on a Friday. Have a great weekend, and hope your college teams win because Nebraska's not playing. So we'll wait till next week. Okay. Have a good one, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Bye.